Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing great today. Okay, so this is a very interesting video that I want to share with us. Ordinarily, I would have just posted the video as it is, but I felt like I should give you an idea of the context. You're about to watch an interview that happened decades ago. It was a Christian journalist interviewing the daughter of the founder of Church of Satan, Zena LaVey. You know, the founder of Church of Satan is Anton LaVey. So this is his daughter, and another guy, Nicholas Schreck, the founder of the Werewolf Coven. I want you to pay attention to a few things you're going to see in this video. Look at Nicholas very well. Listen to him very well. He almost sounds like a robot, like everything coming out of him is channeled, like he's not the one speaking. This is full manifestation of evil. This guy is an embodiment of evil in its entirety. Okay? And then you need to listen to him when he says that Christianity or Christian media is a dying force, that Christianity is like fading away. And he said it emphatically, said as we enter into this particular dispensation, that you're going to watch Christianity fade away. And I know this guy was trying to argue with him and call him to order, that why would you say stuff like that? But the guy was actually telling the truth. Everything he said is what is happening right now. Why am I playing this video? I'm playing this video because I want to let us know. I want to help us understand that these guys we're dealing with, the enemy we're dealing with, doesn't just wake up and act without any plan, without any thinking. They plan everything ahead of time, several years, things that are even going to outlive them. They make plans that outlive them and let other people after them carry on from wherever they stopped. This is how they plan. Imagine how long ago this video was made. Every single thing that guy said about what would happen to Christian media, to Christianity, is happening right now. I remember when I made a video some time ago and I told us about a former chief priest of Satan or satanic priest, okay, Stephen Dollins, who said that they had a meeting, okay, a high level meeting of the wizards and whatever they say they had with Satan. And they made several decades ahead plan on how to take over the young minds of this world, how to take over children, how to take over teenagers, how to take over the adolescents of this world, and make sure that their minds are turned away from God and then towards Satan. They also talked about how to make evil look good. I even made a video to this effect. You would hear him say this with his mouth. And look, several years after, they succeeded. They have made evil look so good and attractive. That is why the founder of MTV said openly that at MTV, we don't shoot for the 13-year-olds. We already own them. He said it, Bob Pittman, he said it clear. Everybody heard that. And look what they've done with the media. That was something they planned in that meeting that Stephen was a part of, that they were going to take over the mind of young people all over the world and make sure that their minds are soaked in satanic philosophy and ideology. Have they succeeded? Let's tell ourselves the truth. They have. So you are going to watch in this video every single thing that has to do with the plans they made. And it wasn't only Stephen Dollins that I also made video about. I also made video about Alice A. Bailey. Alice A. Bailey was a protege of Helena Blavatsky, okay? One of the most famous female occultists in the whole world, okay? Alice A. Bailey gave us the 10 commandments of Lucifer and told us clearly how they were going to carry it out. And in the end, the number 10 of all those items, the commandments on their book, the number 10 was that they were going to get the church to endorse all the evil that she was talking about from number 1 all the way to number 9. And all of that have happened today. I have shared the satanic 10 commandments more than, I can't remember how many times I've made videos about this. If you even scroll down on my channel on YouTube, you're going to see the videos. They're still there. I have spoken about these things. So we are dealing with an enemy that is very intentional about what he wants to do. He is very clear about his aim to take over the world, to relegate mankind to the background to a point that he can control man, to turn us all into robots or eliminate us completely and take over the world that God made for us. It was a plan. They planned it well. This interview will change everything you think you know about Satanism and about paganism, which many of us today in the church are playing with. That's why the guy is so bold. He's telling you clearly. The church is dying because the people who are in the church, who don't have a mind of their own, have allowed paganism to infiltrate the church. And so the things we are supposed to be healing the world from or of, we are now adopting, assimilating, and accepting inside the church. So now who needs help? Is it the world that needs help now or the church that needs help? If you ask me, I would say the church needs help right now. Because the world we are supposed to heal, their own philosophy and ideology has infiltrated and overwhelmed and subdued the church of Christ. That's why the guy is bold. That's why he's so arrogant. He doesn't care. Like he's telling you clearly to your face that there's nothing you can do. We have deceived you with all kinds of funny celebrations and observation of all kinds of calendars that don't make sense, that are actually have satanic origins. I have exposed some of this in my videos. They got you to do some of the things they do in their own covens. They got you to celebrate the things they celebrate. They got you to observe the moon, the full moon they observe in your own Christian way. They got you to do all kinds of things that they are used to doing. So when they look at you, they don't see you as a threat. They look at you as a slave. Because if you are able to impose your way of life on someone else, that person becomes your prodigy. That person becomes a downline to you. You can't look up to that person. That person will have to look up to you. So they see themselves as people that we Christians are looking up to because they bring all these satanic ideals and we quickly embrace and assimilate and adopt them in the body of Christ. Where is our own foundation? Where is our own foundation? So in a nutshell, I just want you to please, if there's anything you do for me, whether you're watching alone or with your family, all you need to do, just cover yourself with the blood of the Lamb and then sit down quietly without any distraction whatsoever and listen to every word. I am going to ensure that every word they have spoken is going to be subtitled so that you don't miss anything. When you have finished watching this, then do a proper soul searching and ask yourself, have I been caught in the web of satanic enticement that has gripped the Church of Christ today to the extent that we are losing our grip on reality and we are busy chasing after?
What you're going to see on this video will be revealing, shocking, and for some of you disturbing. But it's important information you need to know. In 1966, a one-time carnival performer named Anton LaVey shaved his head, donned a hooded black robe, conducted a devil-worshipping black mass, and established the Church of Satan. LaVey's book, The Satanic Bible, which ritualized his religion, has sold more than 500,000 copies. Today, Anton LaVey is a recluse who grants no interviews and makes no public pronouncements. The affairs of the Church of Satan are overseen by two people, his daughter, Zena LaVey, and Mr. Nicholas Schreck, founder of the Werewolf Order of Satanism. Zena LaVey and Nicholas Schreck are the chief spokespersons for the Church of Satan, and they are the two people you will see me confront during this video. Whether or not you believe in a literal devil, you should be concerned about the plans of LaVey and Schreck to establish a satanically ruled society. This interview was not a debate with my countering the viewpoint put forth by the Church of Satan. The purpose of this video was to divulge information regarding the agenda of the Church of Satan, facts that until now have been cloaked in rumor and contradiction. After seeing this video, I'm sure you will be appalled by the evil teachings of Satanism clearly evident in the statements of LaVey and Schreck. You may wish to use parental discretion for younger children during some parts of this video. And now, the first family of Satanism.
Let's come back to the beginning now for a minute. Let's go back to 1966, when this whole thing got started. The suggestion is that your father hit on a good gimmick. You're always accusing the church of being hypocritical and using gimmicks, but it seems to me that your father hit on a very good gimmick. And then there was a lot of showmanship involved. I mean, nudes on altars and satanic ceremonies. How sincere was the beginning of the church? How sincere?
It was quite sincere. There had to be public attention to pave the way for Satanism to be a recognized and above-board religion, as it had never been before. So there had to be public attention. You don't have a movement without moving.
And the archetype of the devil has always been as a showman.
And he
all
always
musicians,
admitted that.
all artists, anyone who has a creative way of attracting attention has always been accused of having diabolical powers.
Now, but what I find interesting is, although many people like yourself might think that he was only doing it as for gimmick's sake and because he was a good showman, you also complain that he won't come and be on your show.
Yeah.
So now, which is it? Would you rather have him be a good showman and come on your show?
Well, why doesn't he come out of the closet?
He's not in a closet. He's living his life happily.
But he is not, I mean, he is fronting an organization.
Listen, he came out of the closet in 1966 so
When
that
Anton
everybody
LaVey
else could come out of the closet.
But excuse me, but he is not making his views, his doctrines, his beliefs.
His views and doctrines are available in the Satanic
He's not making
Bible.
them open to the objective inquiry of the press, of journalists, of anyone. No, he's not. I mean, you are speaking for him, but he does not put himself on the line to defend what he believes.
He's past that point.
He no longer has the need to speak to the media in that fashion. And certainly the Christian media is a dying force.
And he's living his life.
Wait. The Christian media is a dying force?
The Christian media is now going through its last very extravagant death throes. Jim and Tammy Baker,
where do you get these statistics from?
All of the evangelists are slowly falling out of favor. And as we move into the Satanic century, we're going to see Christianity's last gasp.
Well, now hang on. Just excuse me just a minute, Nicholas. You make some broad sweeping statements that do not have statistical validation. Now, while it is true that certain televangelists have had a marked drop in their audiences, overall, the growth of religious media in America is exploding. Can you quote me any statistics in regards to religious radio stations and religious television stations?
Much more.
Do you know how fast they are growing in this country?
There's much more religious media than ever. That's not what I'm saying.
And I think
I'm saying that's a sign of the death throes of Christianity. You've given up your ideals, and now you're joining the devil's ranks, which is to entertain people. You are now part of the media, which is something that the fictional character you base your religion on, Jesus Christ, would certainly not have condoned.
Well, now
you are now using...
Nicholas, you throw so many, I don't want to interrupt you, I want to be polite, but you throw so many little zingers out that are just factually inaccurate. I do have to call you. You just casually said this fictional character, you completely disregard the historicity of Christ. But let's come back to that.
As most historians would.
Well, that's not entirely accurate, sir. Let's get back. Let's get back to the.
Well, it is quite accurate if you want to speak about that.
Let's get back to where the whole thing started. Okay. Let's get some facts straight here, and I'm asking you, Zena, because the press has kicked these things around. Jane Mansfield. Was Jane Mansfield a follower and or a lover of your father?
Yes, she was a member of the Church of Satan. I will not discuss my father's private life because I don't think it's anybody's business. But she was definitely a devout follower of the Satanic philosophy.
Well, his private life has been pretty well discussed in a number of notable books on the
Well,
subject.
that's there for people who wish to
Okay, well, if you
it.
prefer not to, fine, but I'm trying to get some facts here. The curse, the story of the curse that killed Jane Mansfield, that your father supposedly put on someone else and she happened to be in the car.
Well,
Any
that's
truth
been
to that?
published in a number of books and papers also. So do you want me to talk about things
I'm
that
just
have been
asking. I'm just
printed?
asking you. I'm asking you. I'm coming straight to
No,
the
there was
source
no
here.
curse
There was
placed
no
on her.
curse. So she was not decapitated because she was in the wrong place at the wrong time because of your father's curse.
I would say she was in the wrong place at the wrong time, obviously.
But your father did not put a curse at her request. I mean,
On Sam
On Sam
Brody,
Brody.
yes, but not on her.
No,
Not
but he
on
did
her.
put a curse. And because she happened to be in the car with him when he was killed, she got
Because
killed
she
too.
ignored Anton LaVey's request that she break communications with Sam Brody, warned
Which
her
would have been the
to
healthy thing
stay
to do
away from her.
since-
So she did not
So,
do
but
that.
your father did put a curse on
On Sam Brody.
Okay, I'm just trying to get the
Right.
story straight here. Marilyn Monroe, what was the connection with Marilyn Monroe?
That was an affair that the two of them had when they were both very young and were relatively unknown. It just so happened that both of their lives took off in a direction that, garnered some fame. But at the time that they had this affair, they were both very young, late teens, early 20s.
Sammy Davis Jr. He's been pictured
Right.
worshiping in one of your father's altars, wearing a pentagram. Was he at a time a follower of the church?
At a time, yes.
Are there any prominent stars today who are followers openly of the Church of Satan, such as these people were back in the 60s?
There are, and some of them we already know of. Some
Who?
of them, well, if you want entertainers, King Diamond is a member of the Church of Satan. He openly admits that. None of these other heavy metal people are.
Right.
And then there are other actors as well.
Because of
actresses.
For whom? For example, whom?
Well, because of the recent hysteria we've seen, I'm not going to put their
There
their
are people in
careers
every
in
field of
jeopardy.
endeavor, in architecture,
Well,
science,
excuse
Oh, as a
me,
art.
matter
but why?
of fact.
You see, you blame it on hysteria, but in fact, if they're a follower of Satan, should they not be willing to step forward and say so? I mean,
Well, that's what we're embarking on now.
Well,
We
what
are
the
in
90s are
process.
going to see is a massive rise of Satanism. People are going to come out of the shadows and reveal themselves as thoroughgoing Satanists. Because what we're seeing now is the death struggle between the Judeo-Christian idea and archetype and the more ancient satanic archetype.
Nicholas, for $100, anybody can join the Church of Satan. That's what the membership form says. And that's a lifetime
They
membership.
can join the Church of Satan on that level. However, to become an active member of the Church of Satan requires that you are already doing something to advocate Satanism. Simply by joining, you do not become a Satanist.
So that's just a quick, easy $100 to pocket.
No, it's
Well, it is because I mean, just what do you get for your $100? A little membership card that says, "Hi, I'm a Satanist."
No, Satanism is not like Christianity, a way of gathering sheep together in one place. We feel that the best way to change the world into a satanic arena is by having strong individuals in different areas do their own individual work. So by joining the Church of Satan, you enter into the possibility of going into the higher echelons of the Church of Satan.
But
and
if you join
satanic
a
activity.
Christian church, there is some obligatory relationship that you have, some duties and responsibilities to
Well, the
perform.
Christian
do you
church-
not have any duties? I mean, you pay your $100, you get your card, and that's it. You
if that's
require
all
anything.
you choose to do. Most Satanists, as most Christians, are not fully committed. Most Christians are not fervent
And
Christians.
you guys got that problem too.
Everyone has. When you are dealing with human beings, you have the problem of insincerity. How many Christians are truly Christian? I maybe met 5 in my entire
Well, if
life.
they're not truly Christian, then they're not Christians.
So that just becomes a semantic
Okay,
problem.
yeah. Can you be a Satanist and not truly be a Satanist?
It's a problem of semantics, as I said. You can say you're a Martian. Well, what does that mean? Satanism is a very broad-based word. To be a member of the Church of Satan is another thing. If I say Bob Larson represents Christianity, therefore does Bob Larson represent Jim Jones and Jim Baker and Jimmy Swaggart and Charles Manson, other people who have called themselves Christians? So you understand the problem. It's a question of semantics and definition.
Okay, let's talk about the church for a minute, because there's so much that I would know and take for granted, and certainly you would know much more and take for granted, that the average person has no understanding of. It is a church. It takes that moniker. It presumes that position. And when we think of a church, we think of weddings, we think of funerals, we think of ceremonies of worship, of its views on everything from medical treatment to
Those are all activities that go under the umbrella of the Church of Satan.
Let's find out what goes on in the Church of Satan.
Well, one of the main misconceptions is that the Church of Satan is a physical building where black-robed people come to congregate. The Church of Satan is an idea more than a building. It is a large network of people internationally who are committed to the ideas of Satanism. We don't all get together and have bingo games and raffles like Christian churches do to keep everyone feeling like they're part of one big happy family.
I have to jump in on you now. I don't approve of bingo games
No, I
and
didn't
raffles
say that you did,
personally,
but you
and
understand.
I don't think that's truly representational of the legitimate activities of Christianity.
Okay then, if you can say that, most of what you are defining as Satanism is not part of what we would define as legitimate Satanism, just as I will give you the benefit of the doubt and assume you are a legitimate Christian and Jim Jones was not a legitimate Christian.
You're a legitimate Satanist.
The Church of Satan represents legitimate Satanism.
And some kid who gets a Slayer
Sean
album and
Sellers,
cuts the head off of a cat is
I
not a
wouldn't want to be
legitimate
anywhere
Satanist.
near him any more than you would.
All right. Now, let's talk specifically. Marriage. You perform marriages?
Of course.
What
up
is
to the
a
individual.
satanic marriage ceremony like? What do they do?
It's
They obviously don't wear white.
They could wear
They
white.
can
There
wear whatever they
there
want
is
to
no
wear.
dogma or constricting.
And there's no obligation.
Well,
Law.
what do you do? I mean, like witches have a hand fasting ceremony. Do you
Well,
have something like
witches-
that?
Well, we
White
encourage
witches-
people to decide what they want. If they want a particular type of ceremony, then we'll help them write it. But there is no steadfast,
There is
hard, and
no-
solid.
The proper use of black magic is to find out what will work for you personally and devise a ritual that will fulfill your archetypal desires in a way appropriate to you. A ritual that would work for Bob Larson to get what he wants out of the world isn't going to work for the next person.
Excuse me. You said black magic. You just let that roll off your tongue like, hey,
Easily.
a black
Well, it wouldn't roll
magic
off your
ceremony
tongue, but
for
it does
Satan.
ours.
Black magic, and again it's a question of semantics, I would define as the use of will and ritual combined to create change in the world without any restraint on what that change might be. No hypocritical pretending that we are appealing to a higher force.
Well, have you been to a satanic marriage? I mean, have they ceremony?
Sure.
What was it like?
I've conducted them.
You married people
Sure.
in the name of Satan.